Alright, we need to talk about the refs. This NFL postseason was filled with officiating controversies, and even though the Super Bowl was a blowout, the refs still found a way into the conversation. From questionable penalties to missed calls, the inconsistency was frustrating. So, let's break down some of the most controversial calls from the big game, discuss whether the Chiefs get all the calls narrative holds up, and talk about how the NFL can actually fix its officiating problem. Let's get into it. Let's start with a call that had Eagles fans heated right from the opening drive. 4th and 2, A.J. Brown versus Trent McDuffie. Brown wins the route, the flag comes out, and it's offensive pass interference. Was there contact? Sure. But was it enough to be OPI? Probably not. It definitely didn't help that McDuffie fell down. If he stays on his feet, maybe this doesn't get called. But the fact that the refs threw the flag on such a borderline play set a bad tone early on. And at that point, a lot of people were thinking, here we go again, the Chiefs getting calls. But hold on, because right after this, the refs hit Kansas City with a controversial call too. A few plays later, the Eagles face a big 3rd and 5. Hurts throws high to Dallas Goedert, and boom, McDuffie makes contact. Flag comes out. Now, by rule, this is a penalty. Goedert was a defenseless receiver, and contact to the head or neck is illegal, whether it's intentional or not. But this one felt soft. It's the Super Bowl. Should this kind of play really decide the game? Probably not. And this is where people get frustrated with the refs. You don't usually see calls like this in big moments, until you do. Okay, now we have to talk about the most bizarre call of the game. 4th and 3, the Eagles line up for a field goal, and there's movement. But who moved first? From the replay, it looks like the Chiefs defender, number 54, flinched first. If he entered the neutral zone, it should have been a defensive penalty. First down, Eagles. Instead, the refs called a false start on the long snapper. This was just a flat-out bad call. Maybe they got the wrong number, maybe they just panicked, but this is the kind of thing that makes people lose trust in officiating. And in a Super Bowl? Unacceptable. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the narrative that the NFL helps the Chiefs. Look, I'm not a "the league is rigged" guy. I don't think the Chiefs get as many calls as people claim. But I do think perception plays a huge role. Because let's be real, Kansas City has benefited from some huge calls in recent years. The late hit on Mahomes in the AFC Championship last year, the defensive hold in Super Bowl 57, the offsides penalty in the Bills game this year. It adds up. But this Super Bowl? The Chiefs were actually on the wrong end of multiple big calls. They even missed a clear roughing the passer when Mahomes got hit in the face. So, if the refs were trying to rig it for KC, they did a terrible job. So what's the solution? Because we can all agree, this was a rough postseason for officiating. Light bulb idea number 1, the sky judge. The best way to fix this? Add a full-time sky judge. A ref in the booth who watches every play in real time, has access to all angles, and can correct bad calls before they impact the game. This wouldn't slow the game down, it would just prevent obvious mistakes. Light bulb idea number 2, full-time officials. The NFL is a billion-dollar business, yet most refs aren't even full-time employees. That's insane. If the league wants better officiating, they need to invest in it. Light bulb idea number 3, transparency and accountability. Fans need to hear from the refs. After games, there should be press conferences where officials explain controversial calls. Let them break it down and admit when they got something wrong. Transparency builds trust. At the end of the day, officiating will never be perfect. But this postseason, it was worse than usual. And if the NFL wants fans to stop complaining about the refs every year, they need to fix it. But what do you think? Were the refs actually bad, or are we just overreacting? Do you think the Chiefs get more calls than other teams? And what's the best way to fix officiating in the NFL? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more NFL content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.